Actually, where I started was the structure. I had Ruth Winters was about one character totally from her point of view all the way through, and I thought I want to try something a little more complex, and I was thinking about Thornton Wilder's The Bridge at San Luis Rey, which is a story where about all of these people who die in a bridge collapse, but the story is told one chapter at a time, each person's life, and each chapter ends with that person getting to the bridge, about to die. And so I didn't want to write that story, but I thought I'd like to tell a story that takes place over the course of 3 or 4 days and involves 3 or 4 characters and tell each day from the perspective of a different character. And in the process of doing that, then each new day reveals something about the previous day that you didn't know because you've got this new perspective. So that was sort of the beginning. And I paired that with an old family story about an aunt of mine who uh, caused a scandal in the family because she moved away from Minneapolis to take a job in Cincinnati, and my grandparents were unhappy about it. And I was, if I was 10 years old, I'll be surprised. But the fact that it caused this ripple in the family, that she had the nerve to leave town and go move away from the family, uh, stuck with me. And so that was sort of the kernel that I started with, and I figured out these characters and then went day by day. Nora, a young woman who's about 25, as you said, it's 1967. She's finished graduate school, and her father has asked her to come home for the weekend. Didn't tell her why. She's been in grad school in Syracuse. The family lives in Sleepy Hollow, New York, which is just north of Tarrytown, north of the Tappan Zee Bridge. And he doesn't tell her why he wants her coming home, but she has a secret, which is basically that she has accepted a job in Chicago and is going to go there and without first consulting her parents or her mother. And her mother is a very domineering type who everybody in the family walks on eggshells around. And so everybody in this story has secrets from each other, and they're all trying to keep them from the mother, who hates secrets and is convinced that everybody's keeping secrets against her. So she is, and so it's about basically about this weekend where Nora comes home to basically break away from the mother and start her life. And her one ally in the household is the housekeeper, Clara, with whom she has had this uh, daughterly relationship with her entire life, much more so than with her own mother. Well, I've got a hard drive full of plays and screenplays, so always enjoy writing dialogue and feel like I am pretty good at it, and in fact, feel like I have to scale back my impulse to tell a story through dialogue. Um, as one of my editors often says to me, show, don't tell, which is really, it's a crucial precept that I frequently have to remind myself of. But uh, dialogue is, I enjoy writing it, and I feel like it's a great way to reveal character indirectly. That the things that people don't say are often as revealing as the things that they do. Well, there's a big brunch scene with the entire family sitting around the table where, again, nobody is talking about the things that they know will upset the mother, but the mother knows something is going on. And Nora's older sister, who is jealous of Nora, is goading her and trying to sort of hint to the mother that there is something going on. So uh, that was a fun scene to write, a tricky one. It's like, yeah, what's too much, what's not enough. And it was a way to sort of explore the time period as well. Just having one of the older sister's husband talking about something that happened to him in the city, and it's 1967, so he's in Washington Square Park, and he's amazed at the hippies that are hanging out there. And got into a whole other thing about the generation gap at that point that I finally sort of jettisoned. But it was like having cut it, you know that that stuff's underlying there, and so it's again, it's fun to write. It's fun to hone and distill as you go. I feel like the most important tool that a writer has is memory, and thankfully, I was alive in 1967. I was a teenager. I remember, and I have a really good memory for how things felt, include and as well as a sense of history, so that I recognize that as much as movies might play up the fact that in 67, which was the summer of love, movies might make it look like everybody was a hippie. But in fact, it was the kind of thing that did get commented on at dinner tables because it wasn't something you saw every day. Oh my God, I saw some kids down at the grocery store today and they were wearing moccasins. That kind of thing in 1967 was, they were wearing buckskin boots. Oh my God. So it's about finding that sense of proportion and finding the details that evoke the history without sort of showing off about it. I'm always more focused on the plot that and making it believable because I feel like if the action is believable, then the characters will be believable. Um, and so I tend to want to make sure that the things that they're doing are credible. That oh, I don't want people going, oh, that would never happen, or nobody would say that. I'm always looking for that moment, that emotional honesty.